Hello and welcome back to fourth grade daily number workout. Today is the number 8, and our first category of today is word form. So we want to be able to identify numbers in word form. So EIGHT, 8. And let's find the factors of 8. So we always know 1 times 8 is 8. 2 goes into 8 because it is an even number. So we can write up here even. Because it's 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10, or any number ending in 0 are all even. So we know 2 goes in, and 2 goes in 4 times because 2 times 4 is 8. And then the only other number in between 2 and 4 is 3, and 3 does not go in. So that's our strategy. We bring our 1 times the number and we work our way till we can't find any numbers in between that work. All right, so let's move on. Then we ask ourselves, is this number prime? And it is not, because prime is any number that only has 1 in itself as a factor. And this has more than 1 in itself as a factor. All right, let's move on. Our next category is addition. So I'm going to move this up slowly. And let's get with it. So 8 plus 1 equals 9. 8 plus 2 equals 10. 8 plus 3 equals 11. 8 plus 4 equals 12. 8 plus 5 equals 13. 8 plus 6 equals 14. 8 plus 7 equals 15. 8 plus 8 equals 16. 8 plus 9 equals 17. And 8 plus 10 equals 18. All right, so these are basically this 1 through 10. When we add 1 through 10 to any number, we should just know that by heart. So practicing these every day, we will get to know them by heart. All right, let's go on to our next category, which is subtraction. Subtraction. And this is going to be short and sweet because we are subtracting from 10 to start. So 10 minus 8 equals 2. And again, remember, we can find that right here. 9 minus 8 equals 1. And 8 minus 8 equals 0. So we're done with our subtraction for the day. It gets easier as we go, but we're going to be changing that up here soon. All right, multiplication. And again, these are our basic facts as far as addition, subtraction, multiplication. And these are all the ones that we should just know off the top of our head. So this is a good practice to keep remembering these basic facts. So let's go for it. 8 times 1 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. And again, we're going to come over here. We can add 8 plus 8. 8 times 3 equals 24. So if I came over here, 6 plus 8, which is over here, 6 plus 8 is 14. Drop the 4 to carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 24. Boy, something. All right, let's move on to the next one. 8 times 4 equals, let's bring our 8 over here. 4 plus 8. If we looked in our addition column is 12. Drop the 2, carry the 1, 32. 8 times 5. Again, adding an 8 over here. We can continue our addition, equals 40. And then some of you, well, let's keep going here. Then we have 8 times 6 equals, add another 8. Pretty easy. If I know 8 times 5, I can quickly remember, oh, that's 40 plus 8 more is 48. You know, our brains can strategize and pull up files to make it make sense to ourselves. 8 times 7, we're going to add 8 more. 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry the 1, 56. 8 times 8 equals, add another 8 down here. I'm going to move this up so that we get this. Run out of space here on my table. So 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry the 1. 8 plus 8 or 1 plus 5 is 6. Oh, 64. 8 times 8 is 64. And we can keep going. And I'm going to, instead of sliding my paper down so we miss out on all this, we're going to do this next one. So it was 64 plus 8 more, get my scrap paper out, times 9 equals, well, 4 plus 8 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 72. And then we know that 8, any number times 10 is the number plus a 0 in the ones place, and they added 0 in the ones place. So let's remind ourselves that the answers to this is all multiples of 8, but the answer to a multiplication problem is product. So if they're asking you find the product of something, they want you to multiply. The sum of a number is addition. They want you to find out the sum of the numbers. So it's really good to revisit that. Let's go on to division. And we're going to take 100 and we're going to divide 8 into it and see what we get. So it's really easy to come over here and use our multiplication, our multiples to find that. So we ask ourselves, does 8 go into 1? And it does not. So we want to put a 0 up here to hold our place. Then we say, does 8 go into 10? And if we look up here, 2 8s is 16. So 2 would be too many. So 1 time. So we put a 1 up here, and then we remember we got to go in circles here. 1 times 8 is 8. So we plop it here, and then we do subtraction. And up here, we already did the subtraction. 10 minus 8 is 2. And then we ask ourselves, does 8 go into 2? And it does not. So that means this column is done. Okay, that's our checking. If we keep doing the circular thing, we're checking. So then we drop down the next number or next digit to the right. And we ask ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 20? So we look up here and there's 24. So that would be too many. It doesn't go in 3 times, but it does go in 2 times. So we're going to put a 2 up here. And then again, get into our circle. 2 times 8 is 16. We're going to subtract that out. So 20 minus 16, well, we need to borrow, making that 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. And 1 minus 1 is nothing. Does 8 go into 4? No. So we know we did that column right, but there's no other numbers to drop down. So that means we have a remainder 4. So 8 goes into 112 whole times with a remainder of 4. We have some leftovers. So like if we went into the $8 store with $100, we could buy 12 items that cost $8, but we'll have a remainder $4 left over to go get ice cream. All right. Shopping is fun. All right, let's move on to our next category. So you guys did awesome with that. Hopefully this is your 3rd time working on your own, and hopefully it's all making sense. I like to make sense. All right, so let's start off here with our categories of measurement. This is linear measurement. So if we have 8 inches, 8 INs, that is 8 out of 12. We don't have a foot yet. We just have 8 inches. 8 out of the 12. And then yards, remember, it takes 36 inches to make a yard. So we have 8 out of 36 yards. Make sure we write that down. Sometimes I forget. So if I was in the room with you, y'all be yelling at me, I know. All right, so 8 inches is 8/12 of a foot, 8/36 of a yard. Let's move on to centimeters, decimeters, and meters. All right, I'm going to move this up so we have it all on here. So if I have 8 centimeters, that means I have 8 out of 10. It takes 10 centimeters to make a decimeter. And then I have 8 out of 100 because it takes 100 centimeters to make a meter. So 8 centimeters is the same as 8/10 of a decimeter and 8/100 of a meter. Let's go for our liquid. And remember, inches are standard form, centimeters and decimeters and meters are metric. Now we're going to do the standard form of measurement in liquid, which is ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. So hopefully you can see that very well. I'm going to move this up a little bit so we can see it. So again, today is 8, so we have 8 ounces, and that is 8 OZs. And it takes 8 ounces to make a cup. Oh, look at that. So we have 1 whole cup today. How about that? Then it takes 16 ounces to make a pint, and we have 8 out of the 16. So 8 is half of 16. So we could say we have a half of a pint. 1/2 PT. And then we have 8 out of 32 quarts. And we have 8 out of 128 of a gallon. So 8 128ths of a gallon, 8/32 of a quart, 8/16 of a pint or 1/2 of a pint, 8/8 of a cup, which is 1 whole cup. So there we have it. Boy, we're really getting there. Finally made it to a whole cup. All right, let's go for our metric liquid form. And if we have 8 milliliters, that is 8 thousandths of a liter. Onward and upward. Hopefully you got all that written down. Keeping up with me, adding in where you need. Remember, if you make a mistake, no worries, just exit out and put it somewhere close by. Honor you, don't stress over it. We're just having a fun activity of playing with numbers. So I will see you the next time we meet for the number 5. Thank you.